Hello and welcome. Today we've got David Mahoney, and today we're going to be covering Islam in the UK, January the 6th pipe bomber, and also the BBC being sued by Trump. And we're going to go into what's going on in the BBC. And there's a bit of fear that the BBC has right now because everything is being exposed. But just before we begin, I want to say that we're back on YouTube, and I want to put a disclaimer out there for YouTube's guidelines, just so that we can stay here and we could be able to reach thousands of people and spread the truth. And we have to be strategic. But that's to say, whatever we talk about, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do your own research. Me and David, we just speak openly. We give our opinions. We explore everything, speculations, etc. We're not financial advisors. We're not health advisors. Again, do your own research. But David, thank you so much for joining me. How are you, and what have you been up to?
I'm great, Nick. I'm having another great week. I had a busy week last week. I was surprised when I saw the new link saying, "Well, has it gone 2 weeks already?" But let me just clear my throat once. I've been continuously getting these updates, Nick, these upgrades, and I've been told to share, and I've done 3 videos already about poignant life tips. I did one on toxic people, getting rid of them. I did one on listening to your intuition, your little voice inside you. And then I did one yesterday, which has really, really, really made people react. It's about calling rebound relationships. When you're in a relationship and you break up with that person, a lot of people, I'd say it's about 70-80%, they immediately go into another relationship. They've usually got somebody in the shadows, or they'll contact an ex, or they'll go seeking a new person on the dating apps, or however they're doing it, and they get straight back into a relationship and they don't get time to heal or grow or understand why you broke up from that relationship in the first place. So they're going very well, these new videos, and Source is telling me, and Spirit is moving me to make these. So I'm going to continue doing it because, oh my God, the reaction I've had from people has been absolutely fantastic. I was talking about it over lunch today, and an old lady behind me, bless her, stopped me, and I was way out. She said, "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life, that." So when you get confirmation about the work that we're doing is the correct line that we're walking down, Nick, it's really, really fulfilling that. It feels great. But apart from that, I'm continuing my new stuff. I've done another new YouTube channel as well. I've opened up a brand new. I couldn't be bothered trying to beg and plead because a lot of the material I was recording 5 years ago, it's not my thing really anymore. All geopolitical and talking about your restrictions and this and that. I'd rather focus on positive things now. I'd rather get my teeth into helping a lot more people understand what's going on, why they're feeling so different, and what that new energy source is, and why they've got that excited feeling coming as the frequencies are changing. But for the sake of the audience, we always like to touch on a few different subjects today. So we've selected 3 or 4. Let's see how we get on. Which would you like to go first, Mr. Nick?
Well, let's go into the Islam in the UK, and I'll tell you why. It's because of the new mayor in New York. and a lot of people are fleeing New York. They're leaving New York. They're selling their homes. They're afraid of them seeing a copy of what's happening in London in New York. And I'm very concerned about that. And I want to see how this is going to unfold. But what do you think about that? I mean,
here's the thing. Shut up. You voted from it to your own fault.
Well, I don't think they did. I think they cheated.
You probably did, mate. You probably did. But, I've seen several reports, and I don't know if they're true or not, because it's so hard to distinguish a real report and video from AI these days. But one of the reports that I was listening to is that he fully intends to ban women from dressing in what they would call provocative clothing. He wants them to be under curfew. He wants them home by dark. And he's banning miniskirts and tops that are revealing too much flesh and skin. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's going to go down well with women, isn't it? They voted for him to get equal rights because I want to be recognized. I want to have equal rights. He always had equal rights anyway. Now they voted this clown in, or if you didn't vote for him, and now he's saying, right, you put a burqa on and stay in the house, and you're not allowed out after dark, and it'll get worse and worse. And then he's got this other real estate plan where he's going to put Very strict rules on landlords that own buildings in New York that are renting them. Because property there, rental property is ridiculous. You get a 30 square meter place for, $2,500, $3,000. You couldn't swing a cat in it, as they say. But now what he's doing is he's forcing them to upgrade all of the buildings with all the new fire codes and all of the elevators and everything else, and they won't be able to afford it because the rates of union labor in the city are ridiculous. So the landlords won't afford it. Then he's going to hit them with some really heavy fines. And when they can't afford that, he's going to repossess the building because saying, okay, you're an unfit landlord. Don't worry. The New York City Council or the state, New York City, will take it off you and we'll renovate it. And that's it. Thank you very much for playing. See you later. Enjoy your trip home. So there's a lot of exaggerated stuff. I don't think he's actually put any of this in place yet. He's only been in a short time, but it's not looking good, is it?
It's not looking good. But one thing it will do is it will wake a lot of people up. It will do that. Yeah, no, I think so. And I think that the reason why it's going to wake a lot of people up, and the reason is because the system, we're in a time right now where the system is crumbling. They're making mistakes. They're exposing themselves. They can't get away with they can't get away with what they're doing like they did before, because the air in the atmosphere is not the same as it used to be. Something has shifted in the air. Just think of it as divine atmospheric energy that's just not holding the old system in place, and everything is crumbling. And that's why there's a shift. And that's something you want to talk about as well, David, because people are feeling a shift.
I can feel it in the air tonight. Yeah, they are. But go back to that little point there a second ago, because if you've got somebody that's so extreme, like Keir Starmer in the UK is so extreme now, what I felt would be a more truthful theory about why he's doing it is all being done deliberately. So imagine this. You say, I really want to get a German Shepherd dog. Oh, no, they're a terrible dog. They're too lazy. You say, oh, yeah, well, you get a different dog, and that dog's lazy. It's attacking everybody. It makes the original German Shepherd idea seem like paradise. So let's get a German Shepherd. So following that principle about educating people about how bad it is and how bad it's going to get, it's a psyop. It's a double-edged sword. So what they're doing is they're cutting you with one side and then healing you with the same sword. They're putting it back on you, showing people how bad it is, showing people how crazy fundamental Islam is, controlling people. They're still stoning people. Women, if they have any form of extramarital affairs or activities, they're stoning them. So they really think that's going to be swallowed as a new, let's just say, a new pill to make people more aligned with Islam. It's not. It's just going to turn them against it.
And Trump made a tweet the other week and says, if anybody votes for the new mayor, I can't remember his name, something Danmi or something like that. That if any Jews vote for this man, they are stupid people. But you know what? I know Trump is playing optics, but behind the scenes, guys, I've seen pictures with the New York Islamic mayor with members of the state of Israel. And I don't want to say Jews, because there's a lot of good Jews and there's a lot of fake Jews that pretend to be Jews, Luciferian members of the state of Israel who are hiding behind the veil of Judaism, but they are not Jews.
Zionist.
And they have been photographed with the Zionist regime. Members of the Zionist regime have been photographed with the New York mayor. So they're all in it together. We'll split up. We'll divide and conquer the Islamic people and the Christians.
His name is Zohan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry. So there you go.
Like a cartoon character, isn't it?
Zohan.
Mr. Zohan to reception, please. Zohan to reception. The other one is the Iranians. That makes me laugh. You know what they have to call him? The Iranian Ayatollah. He has to be called the supreme leader. That's what he likes to be called. Yes, I am the supreme leader. There's no ego involved in this decision to everybody to call me the supreme leader, but I am the supreme leader. I'll change my handle to, the supreme interviewer or the supreme podcaster. Their egos on these people is ridiculous. This guy Zohan, it's all be like you say, set up. Where's all the money come from to form that campaign? Do you really think New York are going to give hundreds of millions of dollars to some Zohan? That's the name, Zohan. To Zohan, so he can get himself elected. It's all funded from somewhere else. And like this, Nick, the truth always comes to the surface. If you remember through history, no matter what lie, and this can be on a personal level as well, you tell a lie, it will always, always be exposed. Just wait. Just wait. It's like, planting the seeds of doubt. That's it. They'll grow and they'll expose the lie. But, I mean, if they're looking at the UK and London specifically for a view and looking down through a time machine to see how it's going to go with an Islamic Muslim mayor in charge, I think Sadiq Khan and his policies have just ruined London. It's got the highest crime in I think, recorded history. Stabbings and knifing gangs. The police don't even come now unless it's very serious. They won't come to a burglary. They won't come to you if you ring them up and say, hey, there's a guy outside wandering around with a machete. They won't come. That's it. And I've noticed the police are getting younger and younger and smaller, Nick. There used to be a standard of policemen in the UK. And when I've been back there now, I'm like, first of all, the guy looks like he couldn't pull a paper bag apart, never mind wrestle some aggressive terrorist to the ground. Yes, they have armed police and specialized squads, but the average Bobby in the street just looks like some sort of half-educated drongo, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, this diversity situation with this woke agenda has just got out of hand.
I saw a little Pakistani guy with lifters on his shoes, with great big thick glasses on. And I looked at him, I thought, because I get a few things I'm good at, a lot of things I'm good at, but one of the things I'm good at, Nick, is energy reading of people straight away. If somebody's got what I call dirty blood, I get this, they're sick or they're a drug user, there's some distortion in their energy zone, I can pick it up. And it's the same with mental health people. I looked at him and I said, because I get this cloud image coming over me. So, that's a mental health issue. That one's got some sort of drug issue, or he's done something that his system is polluted. His body's polluted. So in this case, the guy, he wasn't the full shilling. He wasn't the full dollar, as they say. So, yeah, the police they're just taking anybody they can these days, midgets, half-witted, slow intellectual people, put them in a uniform and say, off you go onto the streets of London. And they're all covered in tattoos now as well. Have you noticed?
Mm-hmm. Tattoos you mean like me?
Yeah, look, I don't like tattoos, but I don't care if you have one. The only weird thing about tattoos will kind of veer.
I did this a long time ago.
I have a machine, that'll take it off. If you come to Spain, I'll take it off for you.
Yeah, but does it? Okay.
How many tattoos have you seen recently, Nick? This is a strange one, but really quick. Of people who get satanic shit tattooed all over
very
them.
Bad.
Like great big demons sticking out through the shirt like this, and people get all these Chinese letters and writing. Why would you put that on your body? You're not even Chinese, or tribal ones.
It's all energy, isn't it?
This is a tribe from New Zealand, the Maori. Yeah. Have you been in New Zealand? Are you half Maori? No, I don't get it. But the demonic ones really, really do concern me, because there just seem to be more and more of them. People decorating the body with demon tattoos. Anyway, listen, let me play this video about how the UK, because this will shock quite a few people, and maybe you weren't even aware of it.
Just play it.
I will. I'm just going to bring it up now. We veered off subject there, Nick, didn't we?
Sorry?
We veered off subject there.
No, that's okay. That's all, it's all part of it.
It happens. Here we go. Share the sound. That's all correct. Right.
The Islamification of the United Kingdom. The population of the UK is 69 million. The Muslim population, however, is 4 million. That represents around 6% of the population. Now, here's what 6% of the population leads to. The mayor of London is Muslim. The mayor of Birmingham is Muslim. The mayor of Leeds is Muslim. The mayor of Blackburn is Muslim. The mayor of Sheffield is Muslim. The mayor of Oxford is Muslim. The mayor of Luton is Muslim. This never ends. The mayor of Oldham is Muslim. And the mayor of Rochdale, don't know, is Muslim. This is what only 6% of the population have been able to do in the UK. 78% of Muslim women do not work, and as such receive state support and free accommodations. 63% of Muslims do not work and receive state support and free accommodation. Now let's look at the birth rate. Muslim families have on average 3 kids per woman, while the British birth rate is only 1.41. So there's twice as many Muslim kids being born every year than British kids being born. Every school in the UK now requires Islam to be taught. The most common baby name in the UK is, of course, Mohammed. I don't want to sound alarmist, but the Anglo-Saxon is being replaced. And this leads me to the...
I don't want to sound alarmist. Well, he's kind of right, though. That is alarming. I also have one more. Let me go into my friend Gary sent me something today, which I thought, because I don't know about you. You know, I'm a parent, but there'll be a lot of parents out there who would be very concerned about this. Download it. Is that downloaded yet? Yes. Where did that go? Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to make that nice and big, Nick. And then I'm coming back. I haven't gone anywhere. Don't panic, everybody. And let me get that one up. Here we go. So if you were a parent in the UK now, and a lot of our viewers are from the UK, and this was happening in your school, what would you do? Let me see if I've got the volume up.
Hands up like this. Good. Say with me, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Place them here on your legs. Now we bow down gently. Forehead to the mat like this. Say, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. Lovely. Sit back up. Hands up like this. Good. Say with me, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Place them here on your legs. Now we bow down gently. Forehead to the mat like this. Say, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. Lovely. Sit back up.
Terrible. Yeah.
If that was my school, honestly, you'd have to restrain me. And if you're watching this in the UK as a parent, you need to do something about that. If you want to educate your kids in Islam, yes, but that's forced brainwashing. That's being pushed into them. Those kids don't know the difference. And I could see long blonde ponytails. They're not Islamic kids. They're Christian kids.
It's terrible. It is brainwashing, and they most likely don't have the permission of the parents.
I would imagine English parents are not going to sign off to that. I have heard, I haven't verified or correlated it. It's true that it is now part of the curriculum to educate and teach about Islam, which again, what morons are just sitting there, because this is the thing, Nick, the public have become dumbed down. You're watching Love Island or some other reality TV show, and you're half watching that and you're half doing this. Lovely. The British public have become stupid and they become brain dead. And it's happened over the last 3 generations because it's a clever plot. I'll give you a great example. Single mother has a kid, father's not there. That kid grows up, ends up because the mom usually ends up becoming the best friend of it, especially with daughters. Daughters are the ones, right? So mother's best friends with the daughter, not a role model. There's no father in the house that's saying, no, you're not doing that. No, your grades have got to be high. No, you're not staying out all night. You got to be back here. This is it. Because as a role, a father's role in it is to protect that girl, that child, from the monsters. Mm-hmm. And if the father's not there, it's going to end up in a spiraling pattern. She'll get pregnant, have another kid, do the same thing. And now we've got generations, like 3 generations of people who've never had a job in their life. They've just been living on state benefits. And this is the people that are allowing shit like this to happen because they're just dumbed down, Nick, from eating Cheetos and Doritos and watching game shows and Love Island, all this crap that they're going through television, spending half the time. I heard an expression, they call it doom scrolling now. And usually, going up there. Sorry if I'm extreme, guys, but it's true, and the good ones, the ones that understand this will agree. And I don't think we actually have many people who are going to be just sitting in front of the television eating junk food. Nick, most of our audience are very educated and clued up people. But it's your own fault for not stopping it and not going down there. Like my grandfather, even my mother would have beheaded people like that from doing that. She was unstoppable.
I'll tell you what I think, because there's a flip side to this. there's a lot of people, before all this happened in the schools, there's a lot of people, especially in the UK, who are very asleep. They never woke up from 9/11. They didn't wake up from paying a lot of taxes. They didn't wake up from, from 2020 event, the COVID event. They didn't wake up from a lot of things. And some people just need something to hit them home or to their kids for them to wake up. And it has to be sometimes, some of these people, it has to be through their kids.
Through the financial things as well. But you see, I call those, WTF moments. They'll be sitting on the TV and they say, right, if you don't have your digital ID card, you won't be able to drive. And then they just see, okay, I'll get one. And
you know what, David?
They have one of those moments like, no, and they're gonna snap.
David, some people that will take the digital ID might not wake up and they just take the digital ID. But those people that submit to digital ID, they might wake up when their children comes home and start practicing Islamic teachings. So everyone has a different trigger point, right? And I feel that a lot of people will be the digital ID, and some people will be through their children and what they're learning at school. Yeah, and also, this is what dismantles the school system. It's going to wake people up and look for alternative schooling for their kids. And I think all of this corruption that's going on right now that we're seeing in digital ID and medical and the schooling system, the education system, I think it has to get bad so that people can wake up and see contrast. Because without that contrast, they're going to stay asleep. So in a way, it's a good thing. In a way, it can be a good thing.
Yeah, because everybody needs that flashpoint. You got to figure out what the gasoline is for them to explode and where's the spark coming from. And it could be a number of things. For me, it's all of it. I don't take any of it. I will not even bow down a little bit. I can see it straight away coming over the mountain. I've never, ever done it my whole life. My parents were very pushback characters as well. So it came from my parents, that.
And this is a great example when I explain that we're not going to sit back and wait for a rescuer or a savior or for Donald Trump to save us, although we love and respect and support his policies. It's when we say we're not taking our children to that school anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It's when we say no. Okay? So that's what I think. That's how I think it's going to happen, very slowly and very gradually.
Yeah. I'm trying to control my fantasy thoughts of vindictive or vengeance going in that school. Imagine that was my nephew or a niece or something. I would be now.
Well, of course. But that's your divine essence waking up inside of you, not in an aggressive, egotistical way, but in a sovereignty way. You are taking back responsibility. It's a divine, sacred, irritatable feeling you feel that's igniting inside of you.
Oh, we better get off this. Times are ticking. What else we got? What's on the list? What's next?
I think we need to talk about January the 6th pipe bomber that you're going to talk about. And because that's obviously around the time that BBC doctored Trump's speech to make him look like he was inciting violence, but actually he wasn't. And one of the executives in BBC, who I think might be involved in that, has recently resigned.
Yeah, so let's just recap that. There's a story here. So what happened was on January the 6th, Trump was telling people not to go there, to go home, to disperse, to be peaceful. Do not go inside the building. And what the BBC did was they took the original footage and edited it all together to make it look and sound like Trump was inciting violence. That was his plan. So this has come to light now. And we've known for many, many years that the BBC is full of shit, basically. They broadcast propaganda that they're getting handed to them from whatever agenda that's paying the bills in that particular week. So they've lost, since 2020, their credibility has just absolutely plummeted. And then we have the scandal of Jimmy Savile, who was, for those that don't know, was a very, very well-supported personality, television host, who turned out to be one of England's most prolific killers and sexual violators, and was proven to be messing about with children. And this is how sick he was. In hospital, he would go into children's hospitals and interfere with mentally challenged children. Down syndrome, these sort of things. And he was best friends with Prince Charles, who's now King Charles. So all this being trying to be covered up. So it's interesting now that, again, because of the way the energetics have changed, now that people are more aware of it, and now that we're getting this sweeping back to the truth will come up out of the sewers where it's been buried underneath all this shit for years, and it's going to set everybody free. The truth will set you free. And this is one of those cases where people are saying, I can't believe that. Did they really get away with that? That's one of these moments where you're sitting on the sofa that you will wake up. And there's more and more and more of these events that are coming and will come. It's going to be a torrential downpour of truth that's going to come sweeping down through the streets via our social media and people talking about it. But January 6th was a setup, was a CIA, FBI plot funded by the Clintons and Obama just to make sure that Trump was not going to get into power and he was going to get into trouble. So this story is just broken, Nick. I haven't seen it anywhere else. I've had it about 2 hours. So for the sake of the audience, if this turns out to not be true, it's a very, very well orchestrated, put together hoax, because the information that you're about to see, I think, sheds no doubt about what the truth is. Where is the volume there? Is it on?
Oh, I think video has no sound. Are you sure it's got sound?
I'm just gonna reboot it because that normally does it. If I just do that and then that.
Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff has been identified as a forensic match to the elusive January 6th pipe bomber, exposing what many are calling the ultimate deep state cover-up. According to investigative reporting from Blaze Media, advanced gate analysis software produced a staggering 94 to 98% match between Kirchhoff's movements and the hooded suspect captured on surveillance footage planting explosive devices near the DNC and RNC headquarters on January 5, 2021. This former officer, who testified against January 6 defendants and now reportedly works in CIA security, embodies the corrupt networks that weaponized chaos to undermine Trump's America First agenda. This discovery shatters the narrative peddled by the mainstream media and Democrat-led committees that painted peaceful patriots as insurrectionists. The silence from legacy media outlets is deafening, fueling accusations that this was all part of a coordinated psyop to smear Trump and his millions of loyal voters. Sources close to the investigation highlight Kirchhoff's proximity to key events, including her role in the Capitol's civil disturbance unit on that fateful day, and early Google searches for her name in the D.C. area just days after the incident, suggesting insiders knew and buried the truth. Trump, who has repeatedly called January 6th a hoax orchestrated by the FBI and Pelosi's allies, now stands taller than ever as this evidence emerges amid his triumphant return to power. Patriots are urged to share this far and wide, bypassing the complicit press to ensure the real culprits face justice and prevent future setups against the MAGA movement. This wasn't a lone actor but a web of handlers and operatives inflicting psychological warfare on the American public, shattering lives and dividing the nation. With Kirchhoff's involvement thrust into the light, every connected individual, from FBI brass to Capitol insiders, must be exposed, indicted, and tried. Trump's vision of a secure, sovereign America demands nothing less, turning the tables on those who sought to destroy him and restoring faith in a government truly by and for the people. Follow a Newsmax.baby on Jonathan Gregory.
Interesting, that, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm not surprised, and it's good that it's coming out. And I think, yeah, Trump is suing them for defamation. And
he'll win. He'll win it because there's overwhelming evidence. And I think a lot of these people are running for the hills now. They're scared, they're leaving the Capitol. They're selling their properties and trying to liquidate their assets so that their asses are not going to be held accountable for it. So they're going to lose all of that money because he'll rinse them dry. That's the only way to do it, Take out the power of the source, cut the head off the snake. So all of this scandals, it was terrible what happened. And there's a line in that video that's very important. It was the psychological damage done to the psyche of the American people. It's like the JFK killing. They'll never, people never got over it. It was such a shock. And that was the same insurrection. And then they put all those innocent guys in jail for about 2 years. You know, they've all been released now. Trump pardoned them all, and they're all out. But I wonder what their settlement was. You know, what are you going to get? How much is it? 2 years inside? Because they were brutalized as well. Nick, I did a couple of interviews with people that were in there, and they weren't treated as patriots. They were treated as traitors when they got into jail. They didn't have it easy. They had it rough, and it got easy as they went through. But there's a lot of innocent people that were put in there because of the January 6th and the setups. And, we've just planned some evidence over here. Look at this. We got the whole plans of you trying to build nuclear devices out of things you find in a hardware store, and you're going to blow up the Capitol. Right. That's it. 25 years he's gone. And these prisons in America, mate, you do not want to spend any time in there, because if you get a bad name, you won't survive. You know, it's a very, very violent place. Prisons, just because you think, you're all locked up alone. No. A lot of disturbing stuff goes on in prisons.
This does definitely open doors to new potential lawsuits against the authorities, including BBC, Capital, the police department, for corruption and for false, for propaganda, which is not true. So Trump is, for him going and suing the BBC, opens up that portal for a domino effect.
Yeah, and once you see, they call it legal precedent. That's what they call it. So once there's a legal precedent of Trump versus whoever, they'll all use the same one to continue down that road of taking them all out. And I won't feel any sympathy from whatsoever. If all of these people have been doing this for years, manipulating the psyche of whatever country they're being in, the USA, Europe, or England, they should have absolutely everything of their assets stripped away, all the titles. It should all be sold off publicly and put the funds back in to help the people that they destroyed. That's the way it should be. What else is on the list, Nicky boy?
I think that's it for today. But David, it's been an absolute.
I got one more funny.
Got one more.
I just remembered. Yeah, I came across this, right? So Zelensky and the Ukraine. Do you remember when all the celebrities have been going out there for photo shoots? Right. Sean Penn, George Clooney, they all went out there saying, Zelensky, it's very nice to meet you, Mr. Clooney. Thanks for coming. But the truth of what's going on in the Ukraine is horrific, because they're snatching people off the streets and sending them to the front. And one of my web designers is married to a Russian, and she sends him all of these very disturbing videos of young boys that have been put in a uniform with very basic training, and they're sent to the hotline, the front, and they don't come back. They're killed. So Angelina Jolie was out there on a little photo opportunity, and look how caring I am. And this story unfolded. So I'll play this for it, because this kind of made me giggle, because it's exactly what they're trying to tell us that's not happening. Is that it?
You might have to refresh it again.
I will. I see that. Volume up.
Bodyguard of Angelina Jolie in Ukraine was taken by Zelensky's military, and she had to go to the military recruitment center to get him out. This is her bodyguard, and she went to Kherson, Ukraine to visit the front lines and stuff. Here's her doing a photo op and stuff. But instead of going to support Ukraine, her bodyguard was kidnapped by Ukraine. And this is her going into the center to rescue him from being sent to the lines. Ukrainian media is reporting that her guard was mobilized and she had to stop at recruitment centers. 2 Jeeps in her motorcade were stopped at a checkpoint where one of the men in the Jeep had problems with his document. He didn't have his passport. It was at the hotel. The guard explained he was carrying an important person, that's Jolie, but the National Guard officer did not believe him and sent him to the training camp. As a result, Jolie arrived at the building, personally entered the building, and asked to release the guard. And here's her in the building. The craziest part, they cannot confirm if she was able to rescue her bodyguard from being into the Ukrainian military.
Crazy. Why? Do you think that's because Angelina Jolie has been pro-Palestinian?
Yeah, they're all paid puppets. Go out there. We want to give more money to the Ukraine. She's following orders. So do you really think she understands anything? Angelina Jolie. If you talk to her about the history of the Ukraine, the breadbasket of Europe, the history of it, when you've got the Cossacks killing all that. She knows nothing. It's just an opportunity for her to do, I care about people. I'm going to go out there and sit next to young children that are dressed in a scruffy way that look like they need food. Their malnutrition has hit them. So I'll take some pictures next to them and it'll make me look good. It's like, people standing next to a homeless guy and giving him a sandwich and then taking a picture for the social media saying, just doing my part, just doing my bit for,
Yeah. Why exactly?
People are full of shit. And I'm tired. I'm a bit annoyed that I've gone off in a different direction today. I get so tired of fake people. And you know what? A lot of the people that I've interviewed over the years, I've come to realize I'm like, they're fake, man. They're fake. They can't do that all the time. And you meet them at shows, we meet them at events, and how many people are out there just not authentic and being that authentic? You said it before we came on. The only two, I can't say that because, I've still got a lot of friends, but it's hard to find authentic people. You ever meet me? I'm exactly like this in real life. And I know you are because we've met several times. And being authentic is the thing that you've got to do. You have to be authentic. Stand in your authenticity. Stand in your truth, guys. And all that crap going out, Hollywood celebrities going out to Ukraine for, photo shoots and photo ops. They're trying to cover up such things like they're snatching people off the streets and sending them to the detention centers and sending them to the army training centers, recruitment centers. So Angelina's mere fact that she's out there trying to get people to overlook all that, and she gets right in the middle, caught up in the middle of it. And now it's a story I think is hilarious. It's all backfired on her. They talk about a lot of egg on her jacket and face. No sympathy.
I understand. Well, we're just going to have to see what happens. But yeah, you're right. Most people, they perform. They're not authentic.
Yeah.
They're trying to perform, and because they're attached to their egos, their identity, rather than trying to be who they truly are. But David, thank you very much for sharing everything with us today. It's always a pleasure. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish? I want to leave your YouTube link below so that people can follow you.
It's easy. It's called Talking with Mahoney.
I love that. Talking with Mahoney.
Talking with Mahoney. And it's an easy one to remember. But if you want to find where I am, all you got to do is go to mahoney.tv and you'll be able to find me there. And I'll just show you what the website looks like. Talking with Mahoney. Bear with me, Nick.
And the link will be in the description below as well.
Yeah, so you'll know because there is an old channel of me as well. But this one, I'll come back now and I'll show you. Talking with Mahoney. So I'm going to be loading, guys. I'm going to be loading up because here's the problem. There you go. There's the YouTube channel. We use BitChute and we use Rumble, but in the UK, you can't watch videos on BitChute. It's banned. So I'm putting all my material now, all my new stuff onto the BitChute, onto the YouTube channel, Talking with Mahoney. You'll see there, it looks exactly like me. There's 2 videos of us up already, Nick, from a couple of weeks ago. So mahoney.tv or Talking with Mahoney if you want to see my material. And then I'll put all the links in if you want to follow me on Facebook and all that if you want to. But I don't put Facebook to me. It's just a distraction. Absolutely. But Nick, I love you, brother. Thank you very much for having me on again. I always look forward to these little chats because it's all about hitting the right person with the right information. If we just change one person's life or one person's point of view and mentality, get them to look a bit deeper at different things, it's all worth it. The hours that we put into it and all of our own funding, it's all worth it in the end. If you can just help that one person, because you never know what that one person's going to do on his journey. So you got to get them woken up and get them to react. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, David, thank you so much. And we'll speak again very soon. Okay.
See you soon, Nick. Thank you, folks.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.